if you are not, thank you. If you are not in a quiet place, please mute yourself. Yeah, so we've had the privilege of working with a number of people, some of which are on the screen that you're seeing now, and some are not here too. Sorry. And our CEO joined the Forbes Coaches Council in 2022. He's the lead facilitator, the lead consultant at Link Simple. He lives with follow. So he's taking this session a number of years, for over a decade now, and I'm taking it. Yeah, so that's what we do here. Everybody grows, everybody builds, and everybody does this. Yeah. And more importantly, we've also been able to work with over 4,000 entrepreneurs, business owners, and we've seen over 45 of them doing over a billion naira a year in revenue. You know, we have a couple of them in our current mastermind. We have some of them that we worked with last year in the last mastermind, and they've been able to cross over a billion. Even they actually did more than a billion. Majority of them did. So we have those. So this class we'll be taking tonight, like we always do, is the first module of the strategy factory class. Yeah, so we decided to give that out so that people would understand what we really want them to achieve when they come into that main class. So I'd like to start the class. Can we all hear me, please? I want to be sure everybody can hear me, so I'm not just talking. Please type yes.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Thank you. I'm grateful. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, so I'd like to start the class by asking this question, because that's really what everybody needs to know, or what we always need to ask ourselves to keep going. Kindly mute yourself. Thank you. So as business owners, as CEOs, even as a person, even as an employee, because some employees feel like they are not entrepreneurs, they are not business owners, we always should constantly ask ourselves, what do you really want? What do you really want? Because when we were younger, when we were smaller, when we were just growing up, and they asked us this question, and then we go like, they asked us something like, oh, what kind of car would you like to drive when you grow up? Or where would you like to stay when you grow up, and all of those kind of things. And then we go like, oh, I want to travel out, I want to buy this kind of car, I want to buy, we mentioned all these expensive things. And then 20 years down the line, and then they are asking us the same question, and then the answer is no longer the same. Why? Because we feel like those periods, we say the things that we really want. And then when they ask us 20 years down the line, then we feel like, and those things do not really matter. We just have to survive the life. We just have to sort of live, and then just manage whatever we can afford at the moment, or whatever we can get at the moment. So an average child would dream to sort of drive a very fast car, all these race cars. And those cars are really expensive, very, very expensive. But same car, an adult will advise the child to, go to school, learn, earn money, get a job, all of those things, run a business. And the child listens and then goes to school, learn, gets a job, starts working, starts earning money. And then when he wants to get his dream car, he goes to a car dealer, and then they mention the amount of the car. And then he starts compromising his dream. He starts thinking, oh, well, the purpose of a car is just to take me from point A to point B. And then I can do Toyota. I can manage a Lexus, and then we start to downgrade our dream. We start to look for options that we can afford, or things that we can go for, instead of what we really want. Sorry, yeah, I have to mute that person. So, but when we ask a couple of people what they really want, and this is the answer we usually would get from some of them. So some people, when we ask them, what do you really want? Some people want financial freedom. And financial freedom is simply being able to afford what you really want at any point in time. You know, it's being able, is for you, is the spirit of being in your house, and then you're all wherever you are, and then you want something and you can do that thing at that particular point in time without having to compromise or push it to another time. That's financial freedom. You know, like my our CEO would always say, you know, when you like let me give you an instance. You're driving on the road and then you hit a car. Maybe somebody is driving a Corolla, you know, this 2004 Corolla car, and then you hit the car by mistake, and then the driver comes shouting, raging, "Oh, you've done this, you've done like this one, that one," and then you just step out of your car and you be like, "Calm down, I can buy. Do you want a 2020 Corolla?" You know, the tone would change because the person's perception of you change immediately. But you can only do that if you can afford it also. And that's what financial freedom is about. Some people want to have a lot of money because they want to give, they want to contribute to the society. You know, some of us we're at peace when we can help people. Some of us we feel like we've achieved our dreams when we can give, when we can help the society. You know, when they say, "Oh, we want to do a donation to this orphanage," and we're able to say, "Okay, what's the cost? What's the bill? Send me the bill. Let me sponsor this," and then we feel happy doing that. So some of us just want to be rich to be able to do that. And then when we ask some other people, they say they want it for peace of mind. Peace of mind is, let me ask everybody now. So let's say for instance now, if the current price of fuel is I think between 600 to 650 thereabouts. And then if by tomorrow morning the fuel goes to say 1,500, how many of us here would feel it, but then would be able to afford it? You know, would be able to say, okay, no problem, we'll move. Let's go and also work for more money, you get. So that's peace of mind for some of us because we want to be able to afford things no matter what the economy is saying, or no matter what the dollar rate or whatever the country is saying. And then some people want a lot of money because they want to be able to afford a good health. So good health is being able to eat healthy, to visit the hospital, quality hospital, you know, being able to, you know, do things and then live. If you have a lot of money, you should be able to, you want to be healthy also. So good health is being able to go to the right hospital, quality hospital, eat good food. And then good food are expensive. So a couple of times while I'm on Instagram or Facebook, and then I see this advert of keto. I don't, and how many of us see that keto advert? KETO. So it's just like a diet or a way of eating. Somebody just come up with that and then say, "Oh, I want to help you with what you eat so you can have a good life and have a long life." So I click on that advert, and then what I'm seeing there, you see things like eat broccoli, eat, you know, all these vegetable, grains, and all of those things. It's not just about the money to get those things. Do you have the time to also be going around to the market to buy those things? But for people who have a lot of money, they can afford to hire a chef, they can afford to hire whoever would help them do that run around, and then they pay for all of those things. So everything still comes into making a lot of money. And then some people want to make a lot of money because they want to build assets. So let's take, for instance, now Eco Hotel. The people who own Eco Hotel, unless maybe, I don't know, maybe they offend God, because that's the only thing I can think of. Unless maybe they offend God, they should not go broke because they invested in assets. How many of us know how big a hotel is on that road? So imagine having that kind of asset, investing in something like that. So it's just, you know, having that something like that that would help you generate money, you know, passive income, those kind of things. And then some people want a lot of money because they want to be able to afford good quality education. So I'm going to quote our CEO with this. So he said that it's more important, it's going to be more important who your children's classmates are in 20 years than even whether they are brilliant or not. So for instance now, how many of us would agree with me that if when I was in university, my classmate is maybe like an Otedola DJ copy, or an Otedola daughter, or a Tony Elumelu daughter, or a Dangote daughter or son, I would have a better chance at being successful than if I'm in maybe say like any random university in Nigeria or anywhere else in the world, because those people would, depending on how I connect with them, we would be able to provide value for each other such that success should not be dependent on how much money I have, but how much my network is worth. Please kindly mute yourself if you're in a noisy place. Thank you. And then some people want to retire in style, and that's the reason why they want a lot of money. This is where it gets interesting. So let me give you an analysis. You can unmute yourself to answer this. Would you prefer to sort of have a driver at 40 or at 60 or 80 years? You can unmute yourself. Hello, can we hear me?
Yeah, we will say at 60,
Yes.
because that maybe that time, yes, we are getting older.
Exactly. So, this time maybe you're below 40 or 50, you have the energy to work, you have the capacity to do a lot of things, and then you can run around, and then at 60, at 70, you do not have that kind of energy. So that's why retirement is very important for a lot of us, because we want to be able to afford a kind of life that we want to live. So retirement in style is simply that you want to be able to retire and know that you have something that would make you money. You have something that is, sorry, I'm trying to. So I'm going to, sorry, there's something coming up on my screen. I'm trying to get it out. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so a lot of us, we want to, at 50, at 60, we don't have the energy to work. We don't have the energy to work as much as we're doing now. So we want to be able to still live life, afford them vacations, afford to buy a car, afford to hire a driver, a housekeeper, all of those things. They are expensive. So, so imagine where you're working right now, and then we depend mostly on pension funds to get this kind of life. So I'm going to help us understand this now. So say for instance, now your current place of work, you're earning maybe 300, 400,000 naira, and you're able to keep aside 50,000 naira every month in a pension fund. So you keep 50,000 naira aside every month in a pension fund, that's 600,000 naira in a year, right? And then you get maybe about 2 to 4 or maximum 10% annual interest on that. And at the end of the year, in 20 years, you'll be able to save 32.2 million in 20 years. So let's say this is 2024, you're saving 50,000 naira every month. And then at the end, by December 2024, you have 600,000 naira, but that would earn you an additional 10% in pension funds. But you keep saving for another 20 years. So by 2044, you would have 32 million in your pension fund, and then you want to retire. So that's a very big money. How many of us agree? It's very huge. You want to have 32 million. It's a lot of money. But that 32 million, it's a lot of money now. So I'll help you understand now. So let's go back to, say, 1986, where let's say my father is a civil servant. He's earning, say, the minimum wage as at then was around, say, 200 120 to 200 naira minimum wage in a month, and then is earning and is able to save up 3,500 in a year. So he keeps that aside, and then that earns him an additional 10% in pension funds for a year, and then he keeps that for 20 years. So in 20 years, when he wants to receive that money, with all of the interest, he will be able to get 224,600. But the problem is that he would get that money in 2004 or 2006 rather. In 2006, the purpose he was saving for then, say he wanted to buy a car then, maybe a brand new car, a fairly used car, any car he wants to buy then. But in 2004, he wants to buy the same car. That money is not worth that car at that period is getting it again, because everything, cost of inflation, increase in everything. So that money has lost value, right? Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me, please?
Yes,
Just type
yes, yes,
yes if you can
you
hear.
are audible.
Great,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you. So he saves up 3,500 every year in 1986, and then gets 224,000 in 2006. But he cannot afford to do what he wanted to do then. So this brings me to a saying which says, saving, even though savings is a good strategy, it is a good habit, it is a bad strategy. So saving is a good habit, but a bad strategy. So it is better to save up for an investment than to save up as an investment. So if you save up your money, at the end of the year, you buy a land, at the end of the year, you buy a house, you buy something, you invest in Forex, you invest in anything. Well, not Forex, that is very volatile. But you just save up, look for investment opportunities and invest in that. So you don't save your money and then keep it in a pension fund or in your account. Those people actually use your money to get more money, because they don't just hold your money and keep it too. They use it to create wealth. So why not save your own money and also use it to create more wealth? So it is better to save up for an investment than as an investment. Right. So moving on to the next slide. So in this room are entrepreneurs. So all of us, like I said in the beginning, all of us were entrepreneurs. So whether you are an employee or a business owner, we are all entrepreneurs. So an employee is an entrepreneur with one client. And the business owner is an entrepreneur with many clients. So what do I mean by that? As an employee, the day you get fired at your workplace is the day you realize that your employer is your client, because your letter will read that your service is no longer needed. So that means you've been offering them a service that they're paying for. So we are all an entrepreneur. So whether you own a business or you work for somebody, we're all an entrepreneur. So we should all adopt the mindset of an entrepreneur in everything we do. That would help us in building a better life and being able to think on what we really want in life and be able to act accordingly. So I'm going to go straight into the main class, module 1 of the strategy factory. For those of us that would be coming to the strategy factory on the 23rd of this month at a hotel, the very first module of that class is what I'm going to be sharing right now. So when you come to that class, it's exactly the same thing you will hear in class. The first module, we have about 9 other modules that will be shared in class. So this is the very first module. And because this is a business class, I'd like to ask them this question: what is a business? You can type in your answer. What is a business? I'd like to get a few response from us. What is a business? Anybody? Anybody? What is a business? You can just type it in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself if you're in a quiet place. What is a business?
That's 1 week for you to do for 1 week. Take your money.
Please, if you're not in a quiet place, please don't unmute. Though. If you're in a quiet place and you can talk, you can unmute yourself. Oh, okay. Mr. Alabiola Rewaju says, business is something to generate income. Thank you. And by the way, anyhow you define a business is correct, because that is what business is to you. And you've been in business, so it is what it is. So what is a business? Thank you, Mr. Larry Ogumekon says, business is a value created in exchange for money. Thank you. Value created in exchange for money. Mr. Shenu Sheton said, business is what you do to provide a service and be paid for. Wow, nice one. Thank you. Thank you. I'll take one more and then we'll go straight into class. One more. One more, anybody? Thank you, Mr. Tony. A person's regular occupation, profession, or trade. Thank you. Thank you. So I have a definition that I'd like to share with us, and this definition is very, very critical, because if you listen to this, it will help you change how you do business, and it will help you change how you see your business and how you operate. The definition is from Josh Kaufman, and it's from a book called The Personal MBA. So I recommend that we all read this book, because it's a very, very good book for all business owners to learn from. And Josh Kaufman defines a business, and I quote, a business is a repeatable process that, one, creates and delivers something of value. Number two, that other people want or need. Number three, at a price they are willing to pay. Four, in a way that satisfies the customer needs and expectations. And five, so that the business brings in enough profit to make it worthwhile for the owners to continue operation. This definition is so important, and it's it's very, it's broken down so that we can understand it. You know, if you think the definition is bulky, you can take it one at a time, and that's exactly what we're going to do right now. So it says a business is a repeatable process that creates and delivers something of value. And this is just asking yourself as a business owner or as an entrepreneur, how valuable are your offers? So this is just for you to check your business viability. And there are ways to ascertain the viability of a business or of your idea or your business. And number one is to check if your business serves a huge expanding market. So what does this mean? You know, you can't grow a business that is bigger than the market. If you're in a business and you notice the market is shrinking, or the market is not expanding as much, or is not as big, then you can't grow a business in that market. So what do I mean by that? So let's take, for instance, now a cyber cafe business. A cyber cafe business is very profitable some years back, but not anymore. So if you're in that kind of business, you should be thinking of ways to sort of either move out of the business or change the business. So you don't necessarily have to shut down, but you can look for ways to say, okay, what do I need to grow into? What do I need to do to take advantage of what the market is growing into, or where the market is going? So people in cyber cafe would look like, for instance, now Microsoft. Hello, can we hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes,
Okay,
we can hear you.
Thank you. So people in the cyber cafe business before then, if they were in the right settings, if they were learning about their business, if they were learning about the kind of market they were in, then they would have seen this coming, and then they would have found ways to either diversify or leave that business on time before the market eventually close out on them. So you have to be able to check how big your market is, and if it allows your business grow as much as you want it to grow. And then another way is to also build your business into and check if your product can be built into a unique product. So this is simply, I'm going to just use a common illustration now. So for instance, now I use an iPhone, but if I want to go to the market to buy a phone, I know I want an iPhone. So I won't go to the market and say, give me a phone. I would say, give me an iPhone. I want an iPhone. Show me an iPhone. So that's a unique product. You know, it's a unique product. People do not want a phone. Like somebody who wants an iPhone does not want just a phone. It doesn't want a Samsung, because Samsung is also a phone. Tecno is also a phone. He wants an iPhone. So if he goes into a phone store, he's not going to ask for a phone. He's going to ask for an iPhone. That is a unique product. So you want to also be able to build your product such that people are not asking for just the product. They are asking for your product. If you're in real estate, you want to get people to be able to say, I want to buy land from so person. You know, if you're in maybe food business, you want to be the person that people mention when they want something. So that's a unique product that will give you something to sort of leverage on in the business. And then you also want to check if your business idea is in its time. So like I said in the beginning, some markets are shrinking, some markets are not growing. So you want to also check if you are in a market that is closing out, or if you are in a market that is just launching. So, and this is easy because you have to just run some market research, you know, check how the market has been in the last maybe 5-10 years ago, and then project into the future and see what it is to be in that industry. Because you don't want to get into the market too early. If you get into the market too early, you will be saddled with the responsibility to educate the market. You know, you have to sort of teach people how to want your product. You have to teach people how to like your product and all of that. But if you get into the market at a point when it is already growing, not grown to be, not already matured, that is not shrinking out, because every market, every industry would die or reinvent. So you want to get in when the market has been educated enough. So you have to check if your idea is in a time, if it's in that period where the market is growing, so you can get in and get your own share of the market, and not when the market is shrinking or when the market is just starting out. And then does it give you leverage? So if you're checking on the viability of your business, you have to also check if it gives you leverage, because ultimately what every business owner wants is freedom. So if your business is not going to give you something to leverage on, you know, to get that kind of freedom you want, you also want to be careful about that kind of business. So secondly, that other people want or need. In our definition of what a business is, we also say that a business should be what other people want or need. And this is the question to ask: how needed are your offers? How needed are your offers? So sometimes our products are not really what people need, but we have to find a way to create that need in people's mind. So Apple was not the best phone some years ago. BlackBerry was in town, you know, even till now, Apple is still not the best phone. But they created that need in people. So see, the way they did it, you know, if you're using an iPhone, it's easier for you to move something. You have an iPhone, you have a MacBook, you have an iPad. It's easier for you to move file from your iPhone to your iPad to your MacBook and all of those scenarios. So you're using an iPhone, and then you are craving an iPad, and then you're craving a MacBook. They created that need in you. So you have to also look into your business and see how you can find a way to leverage and create a need for your product in people's mind, such that they would want your product at a price they are willing to pay. And this is not about how expensive or cheap your product is. It's about who is buying. It's dependent on who you're marketing to and who is buying your product. So some people would say that, oh, my product is not selling because it's too expensive. You have already chased your customer away before you even got them, because in your head your product is expensive. So you are not going to look for the right audience to sell your product. I'm going to mute this person. Abraham Maslow explains, sorry, going back. Yeah. So how willing are your customers to pay for your service? So who are you talking to, the right people? Are you talking to the right audience? Are you targeting the right people that would buy from you, that will make the buying decision? Because if you have 100%, if you have 100 people, and then we have maybe 10 of them who are supposed to be your ideal clients, but you don't know those 10 people and you go ahead marketing to all 100 people, you would eventually lose out, because you would have spent a lot of money trying to find those 10 people from those 100. But if you are able to identify who your client is by understanding your product and the market, then you will just be able to sort of fish out those people and then focus on them. And Abraham Maslow explained this in this hierarchy of needs. So people in this space, we have people, we have different needs as humans. So we have psychological needs, we have safety needs, love and belonging, esteem and self-actualization. So people who are here, what they need is different from people who are in the self-actualization category. So if you are looking for basic needs, water, food, everything, you are not looking for the same people as those who are in the self actualization category. So for instance, now if I want to eat now, I have say 1,000 or say 500. I can eat food, then I can go to say a booker around the corner and get something to eat, and I'll be fine for 1,000 naira, right? And if I have a little bit more money, say like a 2,000 or 3,000 naira, I can also eat. So all I need to do is just walk into a Chicken Republic or even just go on my Glovo app or any app and then just order the food, Chicken Republic, Reform Max or Reform whatever, and I'm fine, I'll eat. And if I have a little bit more money, say like a 10, 20,000 naira, I would also eat the same food. I can go into say like an Ocean Basket, anyway, I would eat 10,000, 10,000, 20,000 naira. I'll eat, I'll be fine. And then if I have more money, say like a 50K, I want to do big girl, I can then go into somewhere like a Marriott, a hotel, these places. I would still eat and I'll be very, very, very fine, right? And then if I have a lot of money, I have like a 200, 300, 500, 1 million naira to eat. I would still eat, I will eat, because there are places around the world that will charge you in dollars to eat. And if you convert that into naira, then you know that you've spent millions to eat. So the people that are looking for the people on this self-actualization category, that are looking for people that can spend 1 million on food, they are not looking for the people that would spend 1,000 or even 50,000 on food. And they are not looking for the people that will spend 10 to 20,000 naira on food. So you have to be able to identify who your client is and talk to your ideal client. You have to be able to.
60 seconds.
Like a campaign. Some days ago, we were in the office and I was talking to my colleague, a digital marketing person. So we were running ads for the strategy factory. Some of us got in from there. And I just told him that I wanted to understand how he's targeting, because for the kind of ads we're running, we have to be able to target the right audience so we don't get everybody in and just filter them. So the way we target is we look for locations, we target through locations, we target through organizations, we target through what people check online, the kind of things they check, those kind of things. We've been able to narrow down our search for our kind of clients. So that's what every business owner should also seek to do for their business. So that way you'll be able to not price too cheap or too expensive, and then you'll be able to also target the right people and talk to the right people for your business in a way that satisfies the customer's needs and expectations. So this is just some of us. What we do is after a client pays us, then our attention to them shifts. So we are looking for the next person that will pay us money, and then we forgot our commitments or our obligations to the person that's paid us money. And this is very wrong, because it is better not to have a client than to have an angry client. Because the angry client is not just going to turn their backs on you, they are going to sort of preach a bad gospel about your business. And you do not want that kind of person, because what you need is good advocates that will talk about your business and refer people to you. So how do we do this? We need to always get feedback from our clients. And some people do not respond to you. And if you get people like that, they buy from you and they are not returning, you should know something is wrong, and you should find a way to rectify that, and not just serve one client, get money from them, and then not check on them again, and then that business is closed. So we have to always seek to satisfy our clients, so we can always have repeat clients and then referred clients, because it is cheaper to have a referred client or have a repeat customer than to acquire a new customer. Customer acquisition is client acquisition is quite expensive, because if you consider the cost of running ads, doing, for some of us that will do door-to-door advertising, all of those things, they are very expensive. But if you have a very satisfied client that would preach about your business to their network and refer people to you, you would find yourself making more money. So that the business brings in enough profit to make it worthwhile for the owners to continue operation. So profits at the cost of the future. How profitable is your business? So if you're in a business and you're not making profits, in few years to come, the business might be making money, but in years to come, you go out of business. Because if, say for instance, now you have 100 million naira that you're using to run your business, and then the cost of operating per year or per year or per month, as the case may be, is about 10 million. If that business is not making enough profit to add up to that initial 100 million you have, in 10 years, if 10 million is your cost per year, in 10 years, you'll be totally out of business, because there will be no money to run the business again. So your business has to be profitable in whatever you're doing. So you have to look back into each definition of this business and then find ways to serve your customers, create and deliver something of value to them, make people want or need your product, and then make sure you're talking to the right people so they can pay at their own price, and the price is also not, and they're not underpricing you, and you are not overpricing them. And then always seek to satisfy your customers so that you can make profit for your business. So wealth is not measured in time. Wealth is measured in time, not numbers. So like I said, if you have 100 million and you're running at 10 million per year, in 10 years, you'll be out of business. And that means if you're not making profit to increase that money, then you cannot survive one more year after that 10 years, because you will be totally out. Even in by 5 years, you would have known that you are going out of business, because the cost will definitely increase, the cost will change. So in 5 years, you would know that you are out of business. So we have to always constantly make profits for our business. So I want to take us on a quick activity. This activity is going to help us, it's going to change everything about us. Because everybody, even myself, when I did this activity, it changed my mentality, it changed how I want to grow, it changed what kind of money, the kind of money I want, it changed how I want to work. So everything will change if you are able to finish this activity. So I want you to get a notepad and a pen for this activity. So if you have your notepad and a pen, just type ready in the chat box. Just type ready in the chat box if you have your notepad and a pen ready. Just type ready. And I want a lot of us to type that ready because I want us to see how along the line the response will drop, because a lot of us will drop out of this activity. By the time you start seeing what your expenses are for each month, you start dropping out. And then, so let's type ready if we have our notepad and pen. I want us to be done at 8 because we have to watch and support our Super Eagles brethren. So let's run. Let's type ready in the chat box so I can start. Thank you, Mr. Tony, Mr. Alabi. Let's type ready in the chat box and we'll start. If I get 2 more people to say ready, we'll go straight into the activity. Ready, ready, ready. Type ready. Thank you. 1 more and we're good to go. Thank you. Thank you. Mrs. Bola. Mrs. Bola, you are here. Thank you. Okay, so majority of these things, the reason why we want to do this activity is because majority of them do not show up at once. So we do not understand how much we're spending every month. So what I'm going to do is explain each of them. Do not write anything yet in your notepad. I would explain what you should write down. So first is the rent. So for those of us that pay rent, we want to calculate how much of that rent is due in a month. So say if you pay 500, 600,000 naira in a year, so your rent will be around 40, 50, 60,000 naira in a month. So I want you to take whatever amount you pay in a year and divide it by 12. So that would give you what you spend in a month for your rent. So write that amount down, and when you're done, write RT done. So your rent, your annual rent, divide by 12. Whatever you get is what you write here. So you write, once you're done, write RT done so I know we're done. Type RT done. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. A few more responses and we'll move on to the next one. RT done. RT done. Any more response? 1 more response and we'll move to the next one. RT done. Thank you. So the next one is transportation. Transportation is for those of us who have a car, you fuel your car maybe weekly or even if it's daily, and then you have an amount that you use to fuel the car. So if it's weekly, I want you to multiply that amount by 4 or by 30 days. That would give you the amount you use in a month. So if you use 10,000 naira in a day, in a week rather, multiply by 4, you get the amount you use in a month to fuel your car. And if it's a daily transportation cost, maybe you don't have a car, you use the public transport, just multiply the daily amount by 30 or 28 working days or 25 working days as it applies to you, and that will give you the amount you use in a month. So once you're done with that, I want you to write TP done. TP done. TP done. Can we all hear me? How many of us are still following the activity? Thank you, Mr. Tony. TP done. Who else? Who else is done? TP done. TP done. Thank you, Mr. Alabi. Thank you. So the next one is utilities. So utilities is includes your light bill, your cable TV, and for those of us who lives in estates, your estate bills, all of those things, your diesel, all of those things that you buy, gas. So I want you to sort of add those number up and then write them down. So once you write it down, write UT done.
No, fight back. They are cutting me. I don't get too fast.
Thank you.
Right? I pay the Dara is thinking. Now is blowing. In my local
Please
see.
mute yourself. Okay. Muted. So the next activity now is feeding costs. Feeding cost is not the food in your house, it's not the food you buy in your house. This is just the food you buy maybe when you're in your office or you are out and you cannot cook at home. So feeding costs, you have one cafeteria, you buy food around your office or when you go out. So that's feeding costs. So I want you to put that together, the number, maybe 1,500, 2,000 in a day, multiply by the number of days you go to work and write that down. So write FC done for that. FC done for feeding costs. This is not the food you eat at home. FC done. Good, good, good. Thank you. Yeah. So the next item is groceries. This is a very large budget, especially for those who are married and have kids. So this is your food stuff, your toiletries, everything that entails groceries that when you go for grocery shopping, anything you buy in that shopping period is your groceries. So I want you to put that amount down and then write GC done. GC done. GC done. We're almost done. Keep going. Keep going. So the next is school fees. So let me explain this now. So for those of us who have children in primary or secondary school, we pay 3 times in a year, right? So I want you to take the 3 terms and add up together. So you add term 1 plus term 2 plus term 3. Add everything together and divide by 3 and divide by 12 rather. So this will give you the amount that is due in a month for every child. So once you do this, then multiply by the number of children you have. So you're adding term 1, term 2, and term 3 together and dividing it by 12, and then multiply by the number of children you have. That would give you the amount that is due in a month for school fees. Once you're done with that, I want you to write SF done. SF done for your children. And if your children in the university, you know the amount to pay per annum. So you can also put that down. SF done. Thank you. So the next one is personal expense. So personal expense is what you spend on yourself. Expenses like if you do a shebi, then that's included in personal expense. Your pedicure, manicure, your hair, all of those things that you do for yourself, they are your personal expense. So I want you to put that amount down and write PE done once you've done that. PE done. So this includes your clothes, the clothes you buy, Ashobi, your hair, your makeup, your skincare, all of those things, they are your personal expenses. So put it down and write PE done. Thank you. So the next is childcare expense. So childcare expense is anything you spend on your child that is not school fees. So this would include maybe things like extracurricular activities, money. Maybe you enroll your child in a school, an extracurricular activity school, in a sports. Maybe your child is learning swimming. All of those money is your childcare expense. So anything you spend on the child that is not school fees is childcare expense. So I want you to put that amount down and write CC done. CC done. CC done. We're almost done. We're almost done. Keep going. CC done. The next is communication. So communication includes your airtime, your data, anything you use to communicate. So that's communication. And it's quite a large budget now, after COVID. Everybody has sort of gone online and data has increased. So I want you to write down the amount you use on your airtime and data, and then write CM done. CM done. So your airtime, your data, CM done. CM done. CM done. Can we hear me? Oh, great. Well done. Well done, Mr. Goswell. Well done. You're almost there. Thank you, Mr. Alavi and Mr. Tony. Well done. Well done. So the next one is giving. So most of us think giving is spontaneous. We just give and we don't have an amount to it. But if you check the amount you've given to people in the last 3-4 months, you would find a pattern. You would find a repetition in some of the amounts. So I want you to just sort of find one average amount from there and write that down as you're giving. You give to churches, you give to your parents, you give to siblings, urgent 2Ks, all of those. So I want you to just find an amount and put it down for your giving. And when you're done with that, I want you to write GV done. GV done. Well done, well done. And last but not the least, is other expense. So other expense is any other expense that I have not mentioned in this activity. So maybe you have a nanny, you have gardener, you have housekeeper, anything that I have not mentioned. You travel and vacation, anything. So I want you to put that amount down and write done, all done, all done. All done. So now I want you to add up all of these amounts that you've written down. Add everything all up and let's see what you get. And when you're done adding up, I want you to type in, send in an emoji to represent your feelings at the moment. How many of us cannot believe what we are seeing in our notepad? The kind of amounts you're spending every month, because that is your monthly expense. Have you added it up? I want you to send in a message. Let me know you've added it all up. Send done. Done. Exactly, because You know the reason why you're shocked at this amount? Because they do not show up at the same time. Some of this money we spend daily, some of this money they come in annually. So we do not understand, we do not see them as they come in. So we just find the money in bulk, pay it off. We do not know what it costs us to spend in a month. So I'm going to ask us 2 questions and we'll be done with this class. Those questions are very, very, very critical to what you've seen in your monthly expenses. And the first question I will be asking is your business, how big? Sorry. Okay. So the first question is, does your business pay that amount to you as salary? Just type in your response. Does your business pay you that amount of money as salary in a month? So if your business does not pay you that kind of amount of money in a month, then you are ruining that business. You are not helping the business in any way. So the next time you are praying for God to help you, remember to also pray. To pray for yourself, because you are also part of the people that are not helping the business. So the next question I want to ask you is, how big does your business need to get to be able to pay 20 people in your organization such a monthly salary? Because ultimately, if you're able to build a business that can pay you this, that can pay 20 people this amount of money in a month, then you'll be able to build a $1 billion business, or you'll be able to build a business that is as big as you want. Because if you can afford to pay 20 people in your organization this kind of amount every month, then let's believe that you're building a very, 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 very big business. So, and that is why our strategy factory class is very important, because what the event seeks to help people do is help us understand how to build a big business. And if you are one of those people that want to build such a business, then you have to be in the class, because you are the kind of people we want to see at the strategy factory. So how many of us would like to join us for the strategy factory class at Eco Hotel? It's a 10 to 12 hours class. And like I said in the beginning, the class I just shared with us is the very first module of the entire strategy factory class. So imagine what you've seen now, and then imagine that in 10 times, imagine it's 10 times bigger and better. So that is what we seek to help you address at the strategy factory class in the hotel on the 23rd of this month. And we have about 32 classes that will take you on, about 10 modules, and modules on strategy, processes, market analysis, business networking, selling, and everything. So we'll take you all on these topics and help you learn how to build a business that would be able to afford you the kind of lifestyle you want, and help you, employ people and pay them as much as they want to help you build your business too. Our sessions are fun too. We don't just teach. The strategy factory, there are activities to engage you. It's lively, it's fun, and then we have people from different parts of the country come around. We have people from Abuja, even from outside Nigeria, attend the classes. The Lean Simple Strategy Factory is also, it's 3 days. You get a physical class in a co-hotel, a full day class, and then you get a one-on-one consulting meeting with one of our consultants in-house, and then you get the last class on Zoom after the physical class, a week after the physical class. But it doesn't just end there. We would also admit you into our alumni community, where you would have access to a number of people we've worked with over the years. You would be able to access that community, because currently we have over close to 1,000 people in that group that are able to network, and we've been able to facilitate more than 5 billion naira worth of transaction in that community alone. So imagine getting into that kind of space and meeting people. And like I said earlier, we have people also in our community who've done over 1 billion naira a year in revenue. So you would be able to get into those communities, access those kind of network, and more importantly, you'll be able to come into the Strategy Factory class to learn network and be able to expand your mind and grow your business. The Lean Simple class is 10 hours long, but trust me when I say you would not know, because at the beginning of the class, our CEO, the lead consultant, would usually give a guarantee to people that if you want to leave at any point in time in that class, you will be refunded. Because why is that? Because the class is always very, very, very engaging, and we would find people sitting, even after the class, you would still find people sitting around trying to sort of still network and talk to others. Because imagine spending 10 hours in class and you still have energy to stay back and network and still talk to people. That's how engaging and interactive and benefiting the classes. So you want to be in that class. So if you want to join the class is 180,000 naira. So if you want to attend the class, please send a message to Bola on 09 screen. And if you want to make payments instantly, if you're ready to pay right now, you can pay into the account showing on the screen now and send the payment receipt to the number right beside. We have some extra classes that we do also every month for people who join the class. So for this month now, we've had maybe last month, yeah, we had one extra class for people who joined. So if you pay now, you would get access to either talk to one of our consultants or join one of our additional courses that would be holding. So if you're ready to pay now, send a message to Bola on 090-900-8887, the number on, or comment interested. Yeah. Trying to give up. So how many of us will be joining us at the Strategy Factory this month? If you are one of those, I want you to type yes. Type yes if you'll be joining us for this month's Strategy Factory class. Oh, thank you, Mr. Tony. Thank you. So you would kindly type in your name and phone number, or just send a message to 090-9000-8887, and you will get a call from me or Bola tomorrow. Send a message to Bola on 090-9000-8887. Bola, please, can you put the number in the chat box? For those who are interested, kindly send a message to Bola on the number on the chat box. In the chat box. So any question, please? I'd like to take a few questions before we say good night. We've already overshoot the time. I already promised us we're going to end at 8 so we can get ready for our match. Is there any question? Any question? Okay. Oh, okay, okay. Mr. Alabi, please just send a message, whether you're sure or not, just send a message and you will get a call and we'll talk about that. Just send a message to the number on the screen. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining. I'm glad I had your attention for this time, and I hope to see us all, well, not everybody, but at least to see majority of us at the Strategy Factory on the 23rd of this month. Thank you so much and have a wonderful evening. Thank you.